Nulu straight bourbon whiskey. A dame to drink for. Welcome to KIllco Whiskey Musings. My name is Brian, and today, a very special bottle of something called Nulu. I've never had Nulu, so I'm looking forward to trying it. And if you're unaware, this is a bottle from Chad and Sarah of It's Bourbon Night. And yeah, you probably can't get it, but I wanted to make a video. First taste, baby. I will be trying something a little bit different for the video. There is a large amount of wax on this thing, so this may take a minute. Oh my god. I thought makers had a fight. Oh, jeez. And as I've said, and mostly Chad and Sarah have said, pause for cork pop. I hope I can do this. That was a very quiet one. Big pour. It's been a rough day. And whoop. Much better. For my regular viewers, yes, this is different. We're doing the double color. I would say this is about around this area. For the rest of this, the color, this is amber, certainly. Clarity, clear. Sediments, none. And viscosity? This is really high proof. Oh yeah, there are legs on this, but they are moving very slowly. I can't wait to have this. Begin nosing technique. Whoa, initial citrus, lots of baking spices. Instantly salivating, so that's good. I want to say plums, brown sugar, and there's something else in here that's familiar. So I have a feeling it's reminding me of different bourbon that I've had before. Which one? No idea. I would say heavy on the brown sugar. This is glorious. It's always strange when I have thoughts of a smell being thick and rich. But that's what this is. Cinnamon roll. Ugh. With the vanilla glaze. Oh man. And an orange zest. I keep thinking brownies, but that's not quite right. There's not a real heavy chocolate note or anything that I'm noticing. It's bothered me so much that this smells like something else and I can't place it. To the nosing chart. I know, everything's out of order. Haha. For the intensity, 4. I'm leaning towards 3, but simply because I know what the proof of this is. I know a lot of people, they get a lot more punch in the nose than I do. Age. Crap. There'll be a time when I do this in order. The proof is 119.2. Alcohol, of course, 59.2%. Whew, it's going to be hot. Age, 5 years, 4 months. Barrel, B133, and bottle number 12. And thus, age is moderate. About 5 years or so. I think usually 10 years is good for bourbons. Goes over that, it gets kind of weird. So I hear. Barrel, I'm assuming new oak is bourbon. And now that I've gone over that, of course, I'm noticing the wood notes in here. Grain is 51% corn, most likely, since it's a bourbon. The other ones, I'm tempted to say rye. And of course, I have to assume there's malt of some sort in here. Malted barley, that is. Spice. Definitely some clove. I got you close. Tempted to say eucalyptus on this. Oh, keep doing that. Moving on to sweet. Whenever I do bourbons, I feel the need to default say vanilla and caramel. And there's so much spice on this. There's probably some vanilla, because I did say cinnamon roll with the vanilla glaze, but it's honestly buried under all the spiciness for me. It's dense, man. This is dense. Floral, I could say there's a pine note in here. Wine, I don't think so. Fruit, I did say orange. Sulfur, there's nothing sulfurous that I'm noticing. Peat, well, it's a bourbon, so it'd be kind of weird if there was something in here. For earth, there's a definitive wood note, very oak forward, on the nose, which doesn't happen to me very often. I usually find I have to dig for that. I'm tempted to say nutty simply because this is a bourbon night pick, and nutty is one that I find difficult to place. But I've felt, while I've been doing this, there's something bizarrely nutty about it. I want to say almonds almost, but that doesn't feel right. So maybe it's a different, maybe walnut? And I'm getting hung up on it. And now we start with the palate. Wow. Oh, that's hot. First sip of whiskey of the day behind you. Oh. Right here, man. This is one of the few times I feel like I should have had a bourbon, like a 45% bourbon, before I had this one. Because often, when you jump into a high proof whiskey immediately with nothing else. Oh, it's a little rough. I'm kind of afraid to hold this on my tongue, but that's the next part I have to do here. It wasn't as bad. Oh, it's so spicy. Tongue tingles everywhere. Kind of, it's weird, but it feels like it's all in the middle of my tongue. It feels like cinnamon. There's sweetness as well. It's not prominent. The finish on this is lasting a long time, but there's nothing dry about it. My tongue feels kind of coated in this stuff. Oh, feels good. The texture is wonderful. There's a little bit of a dark chocolate taste. There's milk chocolate. Man, there's a lot going on here. A bit of honey. There's a caramel. Feels like honey. I'll say honey. There's something else spicy about this. Interesting sensation. Suddenly I'm sitting here trying to think of more words and quickly realizing that my tongue feels slightly like it's got Novocaine on it. Or it's been slightly numbed by Novocaine. That was funny. And I actually, part of it might just be the way Novocaine tastes. As weird as that sounds, there's something slight about this. And unfortunately, I've had a lot of work, dental work done. So I know that taste of that Novocaine stuff, which is not great, but only slight. It's probably just something slightly medicinal about it. And that's the closest thing I can get. Onto the palate chart. The flavor is sweet, but there is a heck of a lot of spiciness going on here. By that, of course, I mean baking spices, cinnamons, brown sugars, and almost clove. The clove doesn't feel right. I feel like it's some other spice that's just completely slipped my mind at the moment. Proof is freaking high. This one drank real hot at the start. 60% is basically where I will say something is high. And this is 0.8 lower than 60%, so certainly high. No matter how many times I get to body and texture, I always fumble around. I'd say this is full bodied. There's a range of things happening every time I take a sip. It's pretty tame at first, but then the spices just go all over the place and it just sticks around. Oh, I guess I forgot this is here. For the texture, I would say it's rich, a little bit sharp, at least initially. And very again, the tongue tingle thing is something hard to explain. I don't want to call it sharp, but it's dancing all over my tongue right now. Balance, does any element dominate? Yes, very spicy. Finish is at least a 4. I'm tempted to say long, but honestly, I don't want to. Since I've been doing the video, I've been sipping in between, so I haven't given it enough time. However, it is sticking around for a noticeable amount of time. Complexity on this one will give a 4, honestly. I don't want to say high because there's not a lot of it, hitting me and just kind of being like, oh god. But although I'm not finding a hell of a lot of notes on my own right now while I make this, I feel if I explored it longer, which I will do, don't worry, there'll be a lot more to it. For the most part, I am getting sweet, spicy, rich, with a very long finish. And now to find out a little more about this whiskey from the source. And the source happens to be Prohibition Craft Spirits. This is a pick, so most of these are supposed to be different, different barrel to barrel. And I am looking up their Nulu single barrel proof bourbon. Boom. We bring you these carefully selected barrels of MGP. I've had MGP before, and that's probably what I was thinking about. It smelled familiar. Where was I? Of MGP bourbon uncut and unfiltered, while our own distillate rests. Every barrel is different, and each one of our straight bourbon whiskey barrels will be unique and flavorful. I will agree with that. Well, there you have it, folks. My first taste of Nulu, and it is a barrel pick, but it is a very good barrel pick, and it makes me want to try something else from them, if I can find it. I haven't actually seen anything Nulu on the shelf, but I'll keep an eye out for it. Till next time, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome, and I will see you out there. Thank you for joining me on KIllco Whiskey Musings. You can find my social media and Patreon in the links below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.